Hey folks, welcome back to another outstanding episode of Whining About Pest Control. If you are just joining us, I am Shelby Hartzer of 360 Pest Consulting, and we've got a good one today. This issue has been popping up on my news feed quite a bit lately, and it's an important issue, although I admit it can be a little contentious. Today, we're whining about rodenticides. In honor of that, I'm drinking Outlander Cabernet Sauvignon because this might get a little outlandish, so cheers. Very nice red. Past episodes, we have whined about rodents, we have whined about baiting, but we haven't delved too much into rodenticides specifically. Why this is popping up now is because many special interest groups are protesting the use of rodenticides. One state in particular has banned most uses of second generation anticoagulant rodenticides. They're in the process of banning first gen too. On top of that, the EPA is currently reviewing those rodenticide labels and they're planning on putting more restrictions on them. What is this going to mean? If rodenticides do become restricted use products, that will take rodenticides off the shelves of stores and out of the hands of consumers, theoretically. It will restrict them to only licensed professionals. Now, I'm actually in favor of this because professionals are held to a high standard. You can be held responsible for any pesticide misuse. Consumers, on the other hand, can pretty much do what they want with whatever they buy off the shelves, including misusing the products. It's actually kind of ridiculous when you think about it. It's also going to become harder to use rodenticides. Right now, we use rodenticides quite a bit as preventative measures, particularly around those commercial facilities. It's going to be much harder to do that. Rodenticides would be restricted to reacting to rodent problems. So the rodent problems are already occurring before you're allowed to use rodenticides. This means that we're going to have a lot more traps out there, and that's going to require much more frequent checking of those traps. All that means rodent control becomes more difficult, more time consuming, and therefore more expensive. That can lead to people canceling their service and rodent populations getting even more out of control. You know what happens when rodent populations get out of control? Diseases spread. And we already know the plague is in the US in isolated cases. This could mean it's not so isolated anymore. And there are a number of other rodent-borne diseases. I will drop the link down there so you can see all of them. Whining about what's going to happen with rodenticides is great, but let's whine about what we can do about it now. We don't know when the EPA is going to come out with the new label revisions. We do know that there are going to be those revisions. What you can do now is start looking at your accounts with rodent baiting programs. Identify those with heavy activity. Start looking for ways to really try and bring that activity down. You also need to be very aware of how you are using rodenticides and the public perception around it. It's pretty regular to see a news story on this beautiful wild animal was poisoned with rodent poison. Stop using rodent poisons. Whether that's true or not is another episode. Make sure you're using the right amount of rodenticide per the label and for the particular situation. If rodent activity is low, you don't need to be using the maximum amount in every station. In accounts with very low pressure, you may also consider switching to non-toxic bait and then switching to the rodenticide when you start to see the activity pick up. For customers that may have concerns, let them know that they have a part to play in this too. If they want less rodenticide use, they need to clean up more, they need to exclude more, and do their part in this system. If rodenticides do in fact go RUP, you will want to start planning on getting everybody licensed now. Allow that time for studying and maybe even retaking some of those state exams. All of this really is the tip of the rodenticide iceberg, and there's going to be lots more coming whenever the EPA finally does their thing. Until then, go have a glass, judiciously use your rodenticides, and whine to me about your tough rodent issues. I can help. Like and follow and share this with all your Karens and cousins, and cheers to outrageous rodenticides.